Hey guys, Stephanie here, and I'm back with more movie chatter. And if this is your first time here, I want to thank you for checking out my channel. If you're a regular, welcome back. This is a movie channel, so everything I talk about here is movie related. I do reviews, top 10 lists, collection updates, and videos like the one I'm doing today, where I give you a few options for Blu-rays and rentals to watch at home, as well as a few picks for those of you who want to head out and see a movie in the theater. So if this is the type of content you're interested in, this is the point where I tell you to hit that subscribe button and the bell notification. And before I get going with my picks for this week, I just want to extend a heartfelt thank you to everyone who sent me kind words and messages, and for being patient with me while I took a few days just to regroup and get my bearings back. Because if you saw my last video, you saw that I pinned a comment. We had a really rough and unfortunate outcome with one of the dogs, and that's never an easy thing. So I just needed a few days to just, step back and breathe. So thank you, and thank you for being patient. So onward, we're just going to move forward with movies, and that's what we're here to talk about, so that's what we're going to do. And my first pick, I have one new release, and then I have two that I grabbed from my collection. The first one is the new release. It is Charlize Theron in Tully. And before I even talk about this movie, I'm going to tell you that I enjoyed this a whole heck of a lot more than I ever thought I would. Charlize Theron plays Marlo, a mom of three. She has her third baby very early on in the movie. And as any new mom or existing mom, she's exhausted. The house is a mess. The kids are all over the place. The new baby is crying and screaming, and she's up all night with the newborn. And things are just falling apart. She just can't keep up physically, emotionally. No, she's down for the count. Her brother is very well off, and he wants to give her a gift. He wants to hire her a night nurse to help her take care of the new baby. And he says, listen, you're going to get to sleep. She's only going to wake you up to nurse the baby. And Marlo doesn't want it. She wants to be a hands-on mom. She doesn't want anyone in her house. She doesn't want a stranger in her house. She doesn't want a stranger, understandably, she doesn't want a stranger handling her new baby. So she tries to go it alone, but after a few weeks, she can't do it. She can't keep up with the all-night thing, and then all day with the kids in the house and whatever else. So especially the middle child, the little boy, he seems to have some sort of ill-defined emotional problem where he requires a lot of attention. He has meltdowns. You can't break his routine. The school can't deal with him, and they don't really put a label on it. It seems like maybe he has a little touch of autism, but everybody just keeps referring to him as quirky. So that's a whole other thing that she has to deal with. So reluctantly, she calls in this night nurse, Tully, who shows up and kind of saves the day. She tells her, I'm here to save you. She's young, she's enthusiastic, she has energy, and she really does come in and save the day. Marlo comes down in the morning, the house is immaculate, the baby's happy, she only wakes her up when the baby has to nurse, and she really grows to depend on Tully being there. And not just for the baby, because the more Tully's around, the more Marlo and Tully engage in these conversations, and they're getting to know each other. And, Marlo confides in her, because Tully asks about the marriage and what's going on there, and Marlo confides in her that she just can't switch from being the mom and exhausted to being, his sexy wife. And Tully wants to help her. She wants to help her with the relationship. She wants to help her with the house and the kids. And, she even bakes cupcakes for the little boy's class for Marlo to take to school the next day. So you can see that this is really someone who has come in and really truly saved the day. So that is pretty much what I'm going to tell you about this movie, with the exception of it goes along at a nice clip. It really moves along. The first two acts, it just goes along. The story's really following a pretty normal arc. And then the beginning of the third act, I felt like it sort of took a weird kind of a tone and a weird turn. I sort of thought to myself, like, what's this about? But I stayed with it, and I can tell you it is so worth it, because this is one of those movies with an ending that just pulls it all together. The ending changes everything. And that's where I want to leave it as far as what I tell you. I don't want to do any kind of spoilers. It is one of those movies that as soon as you see the ending, at least for me, I wanted to go back and watch it right away, because I know that the second watch and every watch after that is going to be through totally different eyes, and it's going to be a totally different experience, which is one of the things that's really cool about this. There's going to be such high rewatchability because of that ending. I say it's a really safe blind buy. It's not a long movie. It's only about an hour and a half, so it's a quick watch, but it's really enjoyable, and the ending is just, it is perfect. It is just what it was supposed to be, and it really made the whole movie for me. So yeah, Tully, I can't really recommend it enough. It is so good. I'm going to link it in the description. Like I said, safe blind buy. If you want to rent it, fine, but I think you're going to watch it again and again. So link it in the description, and really you can check it out. I can't recommend it enough. Tully. And I am not the biggest Charlize Theron fan, and I really, really liked her in this movie. I thought she was terrific. So yeah, definitely give it a look. And this next one, this is from 2017, and I floated it on Instagram because I think this is such an underrated movie, but such a good movie, so solid. It's called Wind River, and it stars Jeremy Renner and Elizabeth Olsen. Jeremy Renner plays a fish and wildlife guy who is working on a reservation out in Wyoming, and he comes upon the body of a dead woman, dead young girl, and he knows the girl, he knows the family, he has to go and tell them, and then they call in the FBI, who sends down an agent who is just totally ill-equipped and inexperienced and has no idea what she's walking into. And actually the whole reservation is still, they're still sitting in a whole bunch of snow, and they have a huge storm on the way, and she's dressed wrong. She even goes as far as saying, you know, did you guys not get the memo that it's spring? And that's how rough the terrain is here, and how rough the weather is. And that's one of the things that I love about this movie, is I love snowy setting movies. Think The Shining, Revenant, Hateful Eight. All these movies, the weather and the snow and the elements actually become another character in the movie. So I really love that, and I love that about this one, because what they're doing is they're going and they're trying to figure out what happened to this woman that they're deeming a homicide. They've now called it a homicide, and they have to track what happened to this woman. And it's a great movie. It goes along at a nice clip. The story is good. The acting, everybody's solid all the way around. And it is a really moving, heartfelt story. It's a tough story, because even though this wasn't an actual crime, this story is based on a problem that exists on reservations through the country. And when you see the statistic on the last screen of how often these types of crimes happen, it's staggering. So yeah, Wind River, I can't recommend it enough. And if you like crime movies and you like kind of based on true events, even though it's not an actual true crime, it's a pattern of crimes and a pattern of problems that are happening all over this country, I definitely say check out Wind River. It's a really, really great movie. And Jeremy Renner, what a performance from him. He's fantastic. And this next one is from 2002, and it stars Robin Williams. 1 Hour Photo. Robin Williams plays Cy, the photo guy, and he works in a store like a Walmart type of a thing, and he works the photo desk, the photo shop, and he develops all the pictures, and he gets to know all his customers. And in particular, he kind of zeroes in on one family, the Yorkins, and he likes to get to know them, and he develops all their pictures. He's been developing their pictures for years, and Robin Williams plays such a creepy guy. He's so creepy and so stoic, and he's just that guy that he's just shy of crossing over the boundary. He's just shy of being inappropriate. But behind closed doors, he is way too involved with the people whose pictures he's developing, as this family in particular. And when we follow him outside of work, we see that he's a very lonely man. He doesn't have friends. He doesn't have contact. He goes home every night to his apartment. He eats dinner in his one chair in front of his TV, and he's got a very lonely existence. And we start to find out some really creepy, disturbing things about his personal life, and in particular, how he views himself in the life of this family, the Yorkin family. And there's something that happens in the movie that kind of sets him off, and we see a whole darker side of him, and it really takes a very dark turn in the movie. And this is such a different role for Robin Williams. He is so good and so creepy and so believable as this really clearly unstable guy who's just barely holding it together. He even starts to do things like try to make contact with the Mrs. Yorkin in the food court of the mall. He tries to figure out where she's going to be and kind of chance run into her. He follows the little boy to a practice where he can kind of run into him, and he gives him a toy, tries to give him a toy that he saw the kid looking at in the store, and all kinds of wild, inappropriate things. And he pictures himself being invited to family functions and all kinds of crazy things. But what a performance by Robin Williams. And if you want to see him in a role that's totally different than anything you've ever seen him in, definitely check out 1 Hour Photo. And it's a really good story and a really good watch. And again, this is another one of those, I think it's a really safe blind buy, and it's one that you're going to watch again and again. And oof, what a performance. It's the creep factor is off the charts. So yeah, 1 Hour Photo is a great one if you like that, you know, that like stalker type of thing. And Robin Williams just knocks it out of the park, as always, but in a totally different role. And I love seeing actors play characters that are totally out of their element, as it would seem, like totally different from what they would normally do. I just love that. And when they're still as solid as they are in their typical roles, even better. It just shows the range of their abilities, and it's staggering. So yeah, 1 Hour Photo, can't recommend it enough. But those are my picks for home. And as for the theater, we still have Mission Impossible Fallout that's doing great. And I actually saw Equalizer 2, which I thought was fantastic. So if you're a fan of if you were a fan of the first Equalizer, I would say definitely it's a go for the second one. I think I even liked the Equalizer 2 more than the first Equalizer. I thought it was great. And Blind Spotting, the movie that I mentioned last week, is being really well received, so I think I'm going to go check that out this week. I'm either going to do that or another one I'm about to tell you about. So all those are still out there. And then this week we have a new one. One of our viewers actually wrote to me and told me to definitely mention this one. It's called 8th Grade. It comes from Studio A24. It looks fantastic. He, I guess, got a sneak peek preview last week. He and his wife drove 45 minutes to see the movie, and he said it was amazing. So I told him, first of all, thank you, and I'm going to thank you again. And I definitely said it would be one of my picks for this week. I watched the trailer. It looked really good. So if you like that whole coming of age type of thing, it looks to be a really great one. So 8th Grade, that's opening up wide this week. And then the other one is Christopher Robin, which is the live action Pooh movie, which that looks to be really good. And if you have kids and you're into the whole Winnie the Pooh thing, that looks great. So maybe check out that trailer. So those would be my picks for the theater. And hopefully between the home pile and the theater pile, you guys found something that looks interesting or, you know, catches your interest. So I want to thank you guys as always for watching. I always appreciate it. If you enjoyed this video, consider giving me a thumbs up, subscribe, comment, like, share, whatever you guys want to do. You know I appreciate everything. And I am going to be back real soon. I'm thinking that maybe I'm going to do a digibook collection because I've had a few people ask. So maybe I'll do that next. I'm not sure. Maybe another Criterion, maybe the digibooks. Who knows? Maybe I'll do both. Anyway, again, I want to thank you guys as always for watching, and that's going to do it for me today. So until next time, that's a wrap.